everybody, good morning. This is Jean here, Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for you. I am in my sewing room today and I am going to be, I don't know if I'm going to be finishing up quilting my little bandana quilt, my first quilt that I've made, to see if I like it. And I absolutely love this bandana quilt, 12 bandanas. Before I get to what I was going to be showing you today, which you've seen me do a million times, I'm just going to put the camera down and show you how I free motion quilt. You have followed me, have seen me do this, but I just wanted to address a few things before I do my complete tutorial on my bandana quilt. This is a quilt that uses 12 22-inch square pieces of fabric, okay, in 3 different colorways. Now, because a bandana in this country, the United States, is 22 inches square, here are some examples of the bandanas that I purchased from Hobby Lobby in this country. And as you can see, these are cotton bandanas, and they're 99 cents. 99 cents. Wearable art made in India. Yeah, 99 cents. And they're, as I was saying in my previous video, they're fairly thin, so I actually stabilize them. Somebody asked how would they wash up, and do I pre-wash my bandanas? I actually tested these for color fastness, and they were absolutely fine, which I did that with a warm paper towel and rubbed and rubbed and rubbed and rubbed to see if the ink would, the dye would transfer, and it didn't. I don't like washing my fabric anyway before I make a quilt, but I make sure it's color fast, that when after I quilt my quilt and it's all washed, then it has that, I like an antique-y, crinkly look quilt. If you don't like that, then pre-wash all of your fabrics, because the fabrics will shrink. Again, this is how the fabric comes in 22-inch squares. Now, the pattern that I'm using, as you know from Claudia, createwithclaudia.com, this is not my pattern. It uses 3 different colorways, a white or whatever you would like. I have my like peachy color, and then I have this tie-dye, ending up with 48 9.5-inch blocks. But if you look at the pattern and you can figure out, because I can't, the 3 fabrics out of regular material. Now I was thinking, could you use 12 fat quarters? You couldn't, because you can't get 4, as it were, 10-inch squares to cut down out of a fat quarter, because it's 18 by 22. This bandana is a square of 22 by 22, because they're actually cutting this down after we and again I will be showing you this, we will be cutting these down into the 10-inch squares to make a half square triangle, like so. So could you use material? Absolutely, you could. When I do the tutorial, I'll be addressing that. But right for now, that's to come. Right for now, I'm actually just free motion quilting, and I'm doing this in a meandering all over, because I want to get it done with all over meandering stitch, which is about maybe every 1.5 inches. Not 2 inches away, but it's a very loose meandering stitch, and I'll show you some close-ups of it at the end of my my quilting here, how it's turning out. It's really pretty. It's a very loose, all over meandering. And as you know, again, I'll be just going to give you a few tips on how I free motion quilt with my Juki. I have a mechanical machine. This is a Juki machine, and it's the TL2200 QVP Mini. It's a very heavy mechanical metal machine that just does a straight stitch and free motion quilting. No decorative stitches on this machine whatsoever. So it's ideal for free motion quilting. What I have done is I have lowered my feed dogs, those little teeth that grab the fabric, because you just want to be able to move your fabric around. I've put my stitch length to 0. There's no stitch length on here. I've threaded it exactly the same, and I've not touched the tension wheel whatsoever. Now, the idea of free motion quilting is the needles going up and down, and you, the operator, the quilter is moving the fabric under the needle to get your stitches. I've put on a free motion quilting foot, which allows me to see. There's all sorts of feet on your different machines. You have open toe, closed toe, large plastic discs. Mine is a small closed toe metal foot that I have on here, which just glides on the top of the fabric and lets me move my quilt sandwich around. Now, as you can see, I have, well, not quite behind me, a little bit of table, but I have a table to the side of me here, so I can keep my fabric and my quilt sandwich nice and loose around my needle. I'm going to bring my camera around, and again, I'm just going to show you how the needle works and how my idea for free motion quilting. I have extensive videos on all different types of tricks and tips to free motion quilt. Lots of people use gloves. I find I don't like the feel of gloves. I want to feel my fabric. Lots of people use like almost like a styrofoam ring. More power to them. I don't do that either. I have a extended bed on my Juki, so I have a flat surface here. It's not like on a free arm. You absolutely need that. And if you're quilting a decent sized quilt, again, which this is, not huge, but it's big enough, you need support. You need support on this side. Again, we're just working here, but the beauty of this meandering stitch, as I'm going to show you, it works up so quickly. I mean, there are 42 9.5-inch blocks, half square triangles in this quilt, okay? I have a picture up. There's 42 of these blocks, and to free motion quilt, like one block, but I'm going to go into the other blocks, just takes a few seconds, really. So all told, it's working up quilting very, very quickly. But I'm going to put my camera, I don't know where I'm going to put it. Maybe I'll put it here, so I can show you how I free motion quilt. So I just hope you enjoy this, folks. I'll put it to a little bit of music in the background, but you can hear my machine go. Again, thank you for all your love and all your concern. Our Maxwell has had a few bad days, but today he's much better, as I am feeling a little bit better. We're going to try to get his medication sorted out with his seizure disorder. It's just not nice. I'm filming this on Wednesday, October the 9th. A lot of you around the world perhaps don't realize the impending doom and gloom on the state of Florida. We're about 1,000 miles north of Florida, but we're watching the news all the while. There are disasters happening all over the world, floods and hurricanes and typhoons, and we just are praying that everybody has gotten out safe. There's an evacuation plans in place in the state of Florida. Our son has a home in Florida, but he's very, very south, so hopefully that won't be affected as it has been in other flooding scenarios. So anyway, I'm going to put my camera up. I thank you all again. Please keep safe. Please keep well wherever you are. Our lives are the most important things. And have somebody who has survived a natural disaster, we really can attest to that. Please look after yourselves, folks. Love you all. Love from the Trueloves. Bye-bye. as you can see, I started on the outside of my quilt, going around my blocks, the perimeter of my quilt. But the first thing I did do is on all of my grid here, on all of my blocks that I've attached, I stitched in the ditch to secure my quilt top. And then that was with a straight stitch, of course. So my blocks are secured across the entire quilt, going across and up and down. And then I started in the corner and I just started stitching around. So as you can see, my free motion quilting, it sort of meets up with the area that I've already done here. As you can see, I've come around here, and then it grows into the middle. So usually when I free motion quilt, or when somebody free motion quilts, you want to get the worst of it done, which is in the middle, which is actually in the middle. But in this case, I secured because you want the least amount of fabric in your quilt, in your sewing machine space right here. So if you start in the middle, then you have that, and then it gets better. But I'm okay with it. I wanted to see how it was going to work up with this meandering quilting, and I'm just working my way into it, having secured it. So I'm okay with it right now because my quilt fabric, my blocks aren't going anywhere. Yeah, so I'll just continue free motion quilting. And as you can see, again, I'm meeting up with the meandering stitching. Hopefully you can see that I've already done. Now again, you may notice, what am I doing? I'm shifting my fabric, my quilt sandwich, all the while, because our brains are wired perhaps to do a repeating stitch. Maybe you're doing a cursive E, You don't want that pattern, even though it's supposed to be random across your quilt, to look like it's being repeated. So you can sort of reprogram your brain every few inches and move your quilt sandwich around so that your circles are going the other way, your swoops are going up or down, or your curves are going side to side or random. So that's why I'm changing my quilt sandwich all the while. So my meandering is truly meandering. And again, if you get boxed into a corner, always leave the needle down. If you get boxed into a corner, sort of, or you're coming too close to what you've already quilted, no one's going to see it. Just maybe even if you're concerned, go in a seam here where your stitches, and then just go to another place. It's fine, because as I said, I've already done this. So when I come over here, I might be real close to that stitch. It's okay. As Maxwell would say, it's fine. And as you can see, the important thing is when you're meandering, you don't want to confine yourself to this block. This is a square block, right? Here's your block. Well, you want to go out into the other blocks, of course. You want your quilting to be an all-over pattern, not just confined to the one block. And that's what's very freeing about free motion quilting. You can go wherever you want. You can go forward, you can go backwards. There's a whole science of keeping your hands going, your machine going, your brain going, your foot pedal. It takes a lot of practice, but I like doing it. It takes some skill to get your stitch length exactly the same size, because there's no your machine is not doing the stitching. You're doing the stitching. So you're having to make these stitches. Some of them are a little bit bigger, some of them are a little bit small, but that comes with practice, that you can get your stitch length pretty good, since we have no stitch length on our machine. So I'm just going to finish this video up. Again, I thank you for all of your love and your support to us Truelove family. And yeah, love you guys. See you later. Bye.